Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know I told you in my last video that I was actually going to be doing an empty home tour, and quite frankly I started filming it and I felt like it was super boring and honestly not that interesting. So I'm trying to kind of get my house all ready to go, and then I'll do a home tour probably in the next month or two once it's completely decorated. But sorry about that. If you guys are super interested in seeing like my process with decor, or you want to see some more like thrift hauls of things I'm picking up for my house, feel free to leave a comment below and I would love to hear your feedback. And if you have any other ideas for videos, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know about them. So today I'm actually going to be talking a little bit about debt-free living. I posted on Instagram about this quite a few times and you guys seem super interested. Like, this is one of my most requested videos ever. And if the camera's shaking, it's because my cat is on the table. But basically you guys have been asking about this for a while and you want to know like how to start a business, how to run a business without taking out, you know, massive loans and getting into a lot of debt as far as business debt and also personal debt. So I kind of combined all of that into my top 5 favorite tips for living a debt-free life. So if you guys are interested in learning about that, feel free to stay tuned. Okay, so I feel like I do need to preface this video by saying that there are a few things that you guys need to know about my history before we get started, so you guys don't think that, you know, I've completely done this on my own, because I really don't want you guys to think that I'm just like this financial guru. I think I'm very responsible and I think that I don't live outside of my means, but there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. And that the first one would be that I actually didn't go to school completely for free. I did get scholarships every single year that I was in college. I studied broadcast journalism and got a journalism scholarship almost every single year that I was in school. And I also had 2 jobs, 2 part-time jobs, as well as senior year I had 3 jobs if you include Poshmark. So I did work and I did pay a lot of my expenses throughout college, and I did pay, you know, for all my fun money, you know, vacations and things like that throughout college. But I did have a lot of help from my parents, so I do want to thank them obviously for helping me out to not be in a ton of student debt, because I did go to college. So I want you guys to be aware of that now before we get into this video. And one other thing to note is that I am not 100% debt free. My 2 sources of debt are my $1,000 credit card, which is almost completely paid off at this point, and I also have a car note, so I do pay car payment every month. So I'm not 100% debt free, but I have never taken out any money for my business. I've never taken out any personal loans, and I do not have any other sources of debt. So I do live virtually debt free other than my car payment. So that is important to note as well, so you guys don't get the wrong idea. Okay, so my first tip for you guys is probably one of my best tips, and I think this is something that absolutely everyone should do if possible, and try to shop more frugally anyways. But my number 1 tip would be to have a profitable revolving wardrobe. Now, most of you guys are resellers who are coming to this channel automatically because you're subscribed here, so you guys are probably already resellers anyway, so this should be easy for you to understand. But for you guys who are new, basically having a wardrobe that you pay less for than what it's actually worth. So for example, I recently bought like the Gal Meets Glam Fry boots. If you guys have heard of this collaboration, they sold out super quickly, and I really wanted these boots, but I couldn't really find them anywhere, and I won them on an eBay auction for a really low price. Now I know I'm going to wear that for those probably through the next season, probably through the fall and winter season this year, and then after I'm done with them I am going to be selling them for a profit, because I know that I got such a good deal and they are worth more than what I paid for them. So that's one way to look at it, is when you're shopping, be a savvy shopper in order to give yourself a little bit of profit room on your wardrobe. I think that's super important, especially for resellers. This is a really great way to save money and to make everything you do profitable, because your clothing, especially, I mean, I know most of the women in my life have a problem basically shopping a lot and not having a way to really get rid of their clothing in a profitable way, so it's costing them a lot of money. So basically buying below market value even when you're shopping for yourself, and reselling for a profit afterwards. I also think it's important to note that even if you're buying fast fashion, let's say, I don't know, I shop at Target and TJ Maxx and things like that a lot. And whenever I buy those clothes, they're not necessarily something I would list in my Poshmark closet, but I do take those items to Plato's Closet, where most of the clothes I wear are decently trendy and fit well with what they're trying to sell in their store. So I will take those pieces to Plato's Closet, use my credit from the clothes that I'm selling, and purchase something in the store to resell on Poshmark. So that way, every single thing that I buy is somewhat profitable whenever I sell it. Okay, and tip number 2 is actually more of a business related tip, but I would say definitely do not take out any debt to start a reselling business. And I know not all of you guys are gonna be resellers, so this tip is probably more for my reselling friends, but I just wanted you guys to know that I have never taken out any debt for my Poshmark and eBay business. I have sold things for small profits and then built up the profit to buy more inventory over the years. And I think that's really important, especially because the cost of getting into reselling is absolutely so low. You can literally do it for pennies on the dollar, that if you're taking out loans to buy inventory, unless you're really trying to scale and you're a few years into the business, I would not suggest doing that in the beginning, especially if you don't even know what your client is really trying to buy and what your customer is really into. I would suggest not taking out any loans to start a reselling business because there's no reason for it. If you don't really have the capital to start up, I would maybe suggest going to the Goodwill outlet, shopping by the pound, and buying those types of items to really get your store going and get a few items listed first, and then go from there. And I know a lot of people do take out debt and they end up paying back PayPal loans and things like that, and that's fine down the road if you need to do that to build capital and to buy inventory. But when you're starting a reselling business, there's just no reason to take out that kind of money when you haven't established like your customer and your client base. Okay, and tip number 3 is something I feel like, again, as a woman, this is something that is even super hard for me because I am on social media. I follow so many different marketing girls, so many different bloggers, people who are trying to promote products, and I always want to try new products and kind of show you guys what I'm doing on Instagram and things like that. But my 3rd tip is to not be a product junkie. So basically what that means is when you have shampoo and conditioner, for example, you have shampoo and conditioner and you only have one of each. Now I know, especially with my friend group, for some reason, I know if I go to any of their houses right now, they're gonna have an entire shower worth of products. Do they probably use all those products? They probably don't. They probably use shampoo, conditioner, and a body wash, and that's about it. So for me, if you were to go in my shower right now, you would see one of each product, and that is absolutely it. And I do like good products. Once I run out of the product, of course, I'm gonna maybe try something different. If I like that product, I'll stick with that for the next round of buying. But I am not a product junkie, and sometimes I wish I were because I love trying new products. Of course, I love shopping, so I love trying new ideas, but I only buy one of each at a time. The one exception to that would be lipstick because I am kind of into lipstick and that is something that I have a lot of, but all of my makeup products, it's also the same way. I have one foundation, I have one lotion, I have one of everything. That applies to absolutely all products that I use. And if any makeup is left over, it's basically stuff that I've bought in the past and is still sitting in my makeup drawer. But I just do not buy more than one, and there's no reason to be a product junkie. There's absolutely no reason to have more than one product at a time, and this is gonna save you so much money in the long run. Okay, and so for tip number 4, I actually think that everyone should have a side hustle. Even if you have a 9 to 5, even if you're a reseller, you should have another form of making money. So for me, that would be eventually, hopefully, YouTube. I would love to monetize my channel, which it's in process right now of being reviewed. So hopefully YouTube will be a cool side hustle for me, as well as I would say all forms of social media. So I have different ways of making money through that. I sell mystery boxes, I do closet reviews for Poshmark and things like that. So I have multiple streams of income, even if, my one main form of income is not doing well. Let's just say I have a terrible month on eBay and Poshmark and I'm just really not having great sales. Hopefully these other forms of income are going to help me save in the long run and completely stay out of debt. So by having multiple streams of income and selling on different platforms and things like that, that's super important. And I also would like to tie into this one to have a social media presence, because marketing your products and marketing in general is super important. So if you have a way of getting on social media and you are a reseller, you have a small business of some kind, get on social media, and the more money you make, of course, the more money that you can save. Okay, and last but not least, this is actually real life truth. Like, this is not a joke, but if I'm looking for something, I always thrift it first. I always go to Goodwill first. I always go check out different thrift stores and things like that. There are so many random things at thrift stores you would have no idea, especially home decor and things like that. Trends turn over so quickly, and especially like older things when people, move out of their houses and things like that. There's just so much random stuff that gets donated that, like, you can find it at a thrift store. And even if you're just saving like $3 to $4, or if you're saving 20% on something, that will add up. And saving money in that way and thrifting first is super helpful to me. I mean, I've thrifted so many random things. I've thrifted dishes, I've thrifted a new in the box cheesecake pan, things like that. Like things you don't think about needing, but when you run into them at the thrift store when they're $1 instead of $25 retail, that savings is going to add up. Like almost everything in my house is thrifted because you can find it at a thrift store. I promise you, if you look, you go spend a little bit of time to look around, you're going to find it at the thrift store before you even need to go anywhere else. So of course, there may be some big things you need to splurge on, but for the most part, 95% of what you're looking for is available at a thrift store, and it's gonna save you so much money. So thrifting is obviously awesome for my business, but it's also awesome for my personal life, and I love to thrift first. It's also super environmentally friendly, and it helps out obviously charitable shops and things like that. So definitely always try to thrift it first before you shop. Okay, so those are my top 5 tips for money saving without being super frugal, and I hope this helps you guys in some way, you know, stay out of debt or save money, and basically don't stretch yourself out about spending money. If there's something that you know you can make money on, or it's something that you really want, find a way to really use that money and reinvest it into something else that's gonna be profitable. And I think that's the most important thing to remember for me, is I would rather spend money to make more money than to save. And I think that's a really important lesson to learn. So hopefully you guys like this video, and if you'd like to see more money saving tips or have other ideas for videos, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.